Welcome back to another episode of the 4Downs podcast, where we cover 4 trending topics in the NFL in 20 minutes or less. Joining us today is Alex Boyajian, president of Chaotically Intolerant. Welcome back, Alex. How are you doing today?
The Colts season is over. Shane Steichen essentially put the nail in the coffin with a stupid double pass behind the line of scrimmage when your line had already been getting run over all day. I don't know why he'd be in the building tomorrow. His play calling is repeatedly just not good. Like I think on our channels, I have said multiple times, many different plays and situations where he lost the game. So I don't know how he stays in the building. This was your season, and you call a double reverse when you're down 4 points in the second half. And then the Jonathan Taylor fumble. Of course, we can't forget about that either. Not good, John. It's not a good day. It's not a good day, John. I'm waking up from a wedding last night. I was hungover, a little hungover. I had a lot of whiskey or scotch, so I don't think I get that hungover on scotch. I get hungover on beer.
Fancy. When in doubt, pinky out. Fancy.
Open bar, baby. What do you expect? I'm going to abuse the open bar.
Well, here's my shameless plug. I'm drinking Winn-Dixie Club Soda, lime flavored.
Pretty good too. That's good too.
So
I had club soda in the drink, so it makes sense.
Perfect. So Patrick Mahomes turned his ankle again today. Luckily, we have Carson Wentz to back him up. So I'm feeling okay. A win's a win, and Mahomes has shown he can play on a hurt ankle before. So let's move into a much more interesting topic. Topic number 1, as always, Thursday Night Football. The field goal kicking championship of the world. You have a 12-6 final score. So at first glance, I looked at this score. I had to go coach a basketball game on Thursday night. I looked at the score. I said, do we have missed extra points? But then you look at the box score. It is 4 field goals for the Rams to 2 field goals for the San Francisco Giants, thus determining the outcome of the game. Matt Stafford, 16 for 27, 160 yards. Kyren Williams, as usual, sort of puts the team on his back. 29 carries for 108 yards, a huge chunk of their offense. Puka Nacua is all the way back. 7 receptions for 97 yards with a long of 51. Only missed 1 target. So he was 7 receptions on 8 targets. The Rams are looking good going down the stretch. They have the opportunity to win the division. As we are recording this, the Packers are up 7 points on the Seahawks. If that were to hold and Packers win that game, the Rams would take over sole possession of first place in the division. We will talk about the 49ers' woes more later in the episode. We have a topic that will cover them in depth. What do you think going forward for the Rams? Could they potentially go into the playoffs at 11-6 or 10-7?
I want to look at their schedule, but yeah, I think good teams just find ways to win no matter how you do it. I mean, 12-6 is ugly. They beat Buffalo just a week before, 44-42, which poor Josh Allen, he's got to score 45 points to win football games at this point. And I think he is the MVP. But so I mean, the Rams have the.
I got the Jets next week in New York win. They have the Cardinals at home. Could be a tough game. It's a divisional one. It could be good. And then they finish out the season against the Seahawks in LA. So that's a game that could determine the outcome of their season. I mean, I see them winning 2 out of those 3.
Give me the chaos. Give it all to me.
2 of the 3. Could Matt Stafford run it back for 1 more in his old age?
I don't know, man. Wow. This is going to be real. I just love it. I love watching the chaos. I'll be rooting for the Cardinals. I'll say that. But Matt Stafford running it back. I mean, again, it's any given Sunday you get into the playoffs. Because I don't really like making the full prediction on it. We also don't know what they're going to look like over the next 3 weeks. Indianapolis in 21, they look like the best team in football going into week 17 and 18, and they lost to the Raiders, pretty good Raiders, and the 1 at the time, 1 win Jags. with Urban Meyer recently fired. So I don't fucking know anymore. The NFL is always unpredictable. But you know what? I'm gonna make this prediction right now. I think they're gonna cool off a little bit. I think Seattle's gonna hold on. I want to see Seattle win. I think they can do it. I'm calling it right now.
I love Geno. I love Geno Smith so much. He's just what a comeback story.
Yeah.
They wrote me off. I didn't write back. One of the greatest quotes of all time by an NFL player.
The best possible way for the season to end would be Geno or Seattle and LA meet in the final week, and then we get a tie, and then they tie. They tie.
Who won the first match? Who won the first matchup? I don't even remember. We do also. We will have a Lions-Vikings final game of the season. Rams beat Seattle 26-20 on November 3rd. So Rams would take the tiebreaker in that game.
That's true.
That would be wild. That would be wild. Now, I feel like there's not a whole lot to say about that game being just a field goal kicking contest. So it's probably best that we save a minute or two for our last topic because that is going to get fairly hot. We talked about it a little bit off the podcast, so stay tuned for that. Our second topic today is a look back on the scores from today. We are recording this during Sunday Night Football, so we will not be able to give a full insight into that game. Today, the Eagles beat the Steelers. Eagles having a quietly outstanding season. Still in contention to win the NFC first overall seed and bye. We had the Baker Mayfield Buccaneers just crush the Chargers 40-17. Second week in a row where the Buccaneers look like an elite team. The biggest game of the day. The Bills beat the Lions 48-42 in a game where the Bills were up between 14 and 21 points the majority of the game. I think that was a little more lopsided than the score showed. The Cardinals take down the Patriots 30-17. The Broncos beat your Colts 31-13, which we talked about a little in the intro.
I don't
you have anything to say, or are we good?
I think I said it all. Like, I want Shane Steichen gone. I've wanted him gone for a while. The Taylor fumble is obviously unacceptable, but he's a guy. He's been so good for us, and it's like those, that he makes a bad mistake. That's a really fucking bad mistake, but you're not gonna bench the guy. You're not gonna want to get rid of him for it. It's like you tell him go out and make up for your mistake. He didn't make up for it, but I think the more important thing was you're down at that point. You're down 4 points, and you call for a double pass behind the line of scrimmage. I think that's the worst play. Honestly, the fumble was a brain fart. That was a stupid thing, and I think Jonathan Taylor would tell you that. Shane Steichen, he tried to get cute when you have to be serious. You have to be. This is your season, and you're down 4 points, and you call for some cute double reverse play where, you're not the Kansas City Chiefs. That is I don't know. I feel like there's been a few fireable offenses from Shane Steichen in the past, and we haven't gotten them. So that's it. I have nothing else.
I think this is your year. I think it's your year to move on.
Really? Because I feel like it's not. I don't think they're going to move away. I really don't.
That would be mind-boggling because there are a lot of quality coaching candidates hitting the market this offseason. Yeah. Or Mike Vrabel. Shit, take Mike Vrabel.
Vrabes. Give me Vrabes. I'll take Vrabes.
He's elite.
He's also from in the division. He knows the Titans well. So give me Vrabes. I'll take Vrabes or Ben Johnson.
Exciting news. The Texans clinch a playoff berth with a 20-12.
With the Colts loss.
Yes, 20-12 win over the Dolphins, who I believe are mathematically eliminated. As of last week, they have the potential to run the table and make the playoffs. I think that dream is dead. Statistically, I think.
They're 6-8. I don't have them as eliminated yet because Indy lost as well.
You're right.
And the Chargers lost. They're 8-6.
So they're still technically in it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. The Bengals 37-27 over the Titans. Joe Burrow still doing his thing. Jamar Chase still doing his thing. Chase is up for a major contract extension, so I see him the remainder of the season still putting up big numbers, especially at least through week 16, so my fantasy team can win the championship. The Commanders, 20-19 over the Saints, continuing their impressive season. The Cowboys and the Panthers in the really bad team bowl. Cowboys win that one. The Jaguars embarrassed by the lowly New York Jets, 32-25. The Ravens keep rolling in the game that was the biggest money line spread of the week, I believe. The Ravens were minus 1,600 in that game, and they hang on. As it stands, I forgot the Chiefs. Chiefs 21-7 over the Browns. Mahomes leaving the game with the same ankle that has ailed him over the past few seasons. He is day-to-day. Carson Wentz, I expect to start next week's game.
Yeah,
And as it's, I'm
roll
sorry.
with him.
Run with Carson. Give him a shot to win a Super Bowl. Give him a shot to win a Super Bowl.
Maybe not that. Let's hold off. But I say, well, you already lost to Buffs. Who do you guys have left? I mean, you guys have a tougher schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Down the stretch. Yeah. You got Houston. I would say roll with him for Houston. If everything's okay, go into Pittsburgh with him. I don't know the extent of Mahomes' injury, so obviously maybe it's a non-option. But if it's an option and you want to secure that number 1 seed, I would maybe try and get back for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And as it stands, the Packers are up 14-3 on the Seahawks. Like we said, a big boost for the Rams' playoff chances if that score holds and Green Bay wins the game. Our third topic is the doubleheader on Monday Night Football this week, which both myself and Alex have gone on record on this podcast and the Chaotically Intolerant podcast that doubleheaders on Monday Night Football are one of the worst things the NFL has ever done, especially running alongside each other. You know, if we had a 6 o'clock game and an 8:30 game, by all means, run 2 games on Monday night. However, when you have an 8 o'clock and an 8:30 game running side by side, what's the point? Monday Night Football is supposed to be an all eyes on one game event each week. And, I mean, we have 2 games that aren't even really worth watching. I, for one, am not tuning into Falcons Raiders at 8:30 on a work night. And I'm probably not tuning into Vikings Bears either to see even Caleb Williams, who I love watching. Now, this is a huge game for the Vikings. With the Lions lost today, they are tied atop the division, and they are heading into a week 18, showdown Lions Vikings, which could determine the outcome of the division. Vikings win this game, they move to 12-2, tied with the Lions. Like I said, do you have any major points on these 2 Monday night matchups?
I mean, again, both are important for division. Well, Tampa won today, so obviously this is a must-win for Atlanta. Down the stretch, they do have the tiebreaker. I'm trying to think. Let me look at the division. But
outside of
these games fucking suck, dude. Get this shit off my screen. This is disgusting. Really, this is the best the NFL. Before the season, these wouldn't even be. I wouldn't even be like, oh, I'm so excited for Falcons Raiders. Like, shut up.
We have to just start flexing games. Like, if you get to week 13 and you look down the road and you say, oh, week 15, we've got Falcons Raiders on Monday Night Football. Just switch the game. It can't be that hard to do. Season ticket holders, they're fine. You just say, hey, your ticket that was for that Monday night game is now for Sunday at 4:25. So
yeah, if Atlanta falls, they'll fall 2 back with 3 to go, and they don't have Tampa. Of course, they don't have any more games against Tampa. If Minnesota falls, I don't know, they'll fall to 11-3.
Yeah, they'd be a game behind the Lions with a showdown against the Lions in the last week of the season. So obviously that game is much more important because it could also determine the number 1 seed, or it could play a major factor in the number 1 seed in the NFC. So, I mean, that game at least is worth watching. I don't see the Bears taking that game. However, like you said, any given Sunday, Minnesota is a 7-point favorite. I might take the spread in favor of the Bears in that game as a 7-point favorite. However, I'm not sure the Bears have the juice at this point in the season to take down the Vikings, who have a lot more to play for. The only real storyline I'm intrigued by is the Sam Darnold bounce-back season. He's been an outstanding quarterback all year after sort of being shunned by teams in the past. I mean, the New York Jets have to be sort of kicking themselves, saying they could have had Darnold long term um, with the way he's playing. And maybe a case study in stop giving up on quarterbacks when they don't have the talent around them, when they don't have quality coaching supporting
or
them.
just give quarterbacks time to
Mm-hmm.
figure it out. Like that's
Yeah.
also just a good lesson.
Maybe this Monday night game is a reminder to the Chicago Bears to not give up on Caleb Williams, because I see him sort of on a similar trajectory where, I mean, the team is just not good enough to win right now with him. You could put any quarterback on that roster, and I'm not sure they're more than a fringy playoff team, minus maybe someone like Josh Allen.
No, I think they have I think they have some good talent on that team. Their line is horrible. Caleb can't do
yes,
anything. He can't do
exactly.
a single thing. So I guess, yeah, maybe I wouldn't push back because, the line is about as important to a quarterback's game as it is to the quarterback making the right decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's hard to make a right decision when you have 350-pound defensive linemen breathing down your neck every single play of a game. But, I mean, the pieces are there. So maybe Chicago will look at Sam Darnold's success in Minnesota and say, hey, let's build around this guy for a few years, and we might look like geniuses for kind of giving him a little longer leash through the early years of his career. However, I don't see this being a very tight game one way or the other. Minnesota will win by 6 points in a game that is not as close as the score looks. That is my projection on that one. Our final topic of the night is a strange influx in NFL players refusing to take the field. Deontay Johnson refuses to go in a game against the Eagles a few weeks back. A newcomer to the Ravens, not really putting himself in the good graces of the franchise. He was suspended a game. And recently, Devonta Campbell refusing to sub in for Drake Greenlaw in a game that will likely end his tenure with the 49ers. New developments, CBS Sports is reporting that he will not be cut from the team because the 49ers do not want to give him an opportunity to latch on with a contending team, which some believe was his sort of ulterior motive in this. Not only did he just refuse to take the field for that play, he removed his helmet and walked to the locker room. So a lot of people are saying they think his intention was to get cut by the team and go latch on somewhere with the Chiefs or the Bills or somebody like that. They are likely to suspend him for the remainder of the
Durant.
year. Yes, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
The goat of putting himself in a better situation. Piece of shit. I hate Kevin Durant. That's a topic for a different podcast.
Listen,
though.
KD is a baller. That's all I'll say. Like I do love how much KD loves basketball. Like, have you seen his tweets?
Only if he's winning.
I mean, only winning, of course, but I do love his tweets. Like, he'll just be like up thinking about basketball. Those are his tweets. Like, that guy's a fucking gamer.
He goes onto his burner account and then comments on his own tweet. Yeah, basketball rules because you're the best, Kevin. I'm your biggest fan. But I don't think this is the same situation. The 49ers are expected to suspend him for the remainder of the year, recoup some of his $5 million contract, which we discuss off podcast. You're getting paid $5 million for a job that only requires you to work, a third of the year with the team. The rest of the year, you can just hang out at the crib, lift weights, stay in shape, and you're banking big money. I mean, if I don't show up for work, or if I'm in the middle of teaching a lesson in math class and I just drop my expo marker and walk out because I'm not happy with how my team is performing, I get fired. I lose my.
Yeah, threaten your students. Threaten the students. Be like, if you guys don't pick it up, I'm just leaving. I'm leaving. Like, that's just not how the world works, man. That's not how it works.
Yeah. So
the regular world.
These guys, yeah, but in the NFL world, you can just say, hey, I'm not feeling it today. I'm going to go hang out in the locker room. You take your suspension. He'll still bank $4 million for the year, even though a portion of his salary will be revoked due to a suspension.
So Deontay Johnson this year with the Ravens, he's slated to make $625 million.
I mean, whoa, $625 million. No.
Or 625,000. Sorry.
Which is what I make in 14 years as a teacher.
Let's see, average American salary. The average American makes $63,000 in this country. No, I don't think any American should ever have any sort of sympathy for someone like that. I'm sorry. Like I know I don't like to get political on any of the channels. There was someone who felt who was not receiving what they felt like was adequate medical care, so they felt that it was necessary to go and kill someone. I'm not going to speak on the morals of that. That is not this issue. But there was someone who was not receiving adequate medical care, so they felt that they needed to go kill someone. And you're complaining because you're not on a good team, because like you're making millions of dollars a year and you're not making you can make mistakes on the field and I won't care. That's human. Jonathan Taylor dropping the fumble, that's a brain fart. That's a human mistake. Like all these guys make mistakes, but they're trying their hardest. If you're just like, wah, I'm not getting what I want, you're still making millions of dollars every year, people would kill to have that. Some of these people won't make that money in their entire lifetime. In their entire
and they're
lifetime,
still spending like $250 at the game to go see your team play.
I'm not even talking about people who are even there. I'm not
think about
individuals. I'm not even talking about the fans. I'm just talking about every individual who goes and works in this country or in any other country and doesn't make that. And you have people like, oh, I don't want to go to work because I'm on a bad team. Like, shut up. Shut up. You are not grateful. You are not a grateful individual, in my opinion, if you do something like that. That is crazy. That is crazy to me.
And I hope he never plays another snap in the NFL ever again.
I don't think either one of them should. I would hope that teams will take a principled stand. And I know there's other things with the NFL and all these teams, whatever. I don't care. I hope there's a principled stand and they don't sign these individuals again because, first of all, they have more than enough money. I'm looking at his contract from the last couple of years with the Steelers, $6 million in 2022, $5.8 million with a $2.5 million roster bonus.
Just to play, just to be on the roster, just to be barely good enough to make the 52-man roster.
The practice squad guys would love that. Like there's guys on that roster that don't get that. And they were probably struggling for their families for a long time. Like it's just that is so entitled. There is so much entitlement in that statement. And that turns away a lot of people from the game. And especially from you. Like, especially from you. No one wants to root for anyone who does that. Why would you want to root for them?
Agreed. And before this gets too much more heated, before we start engaging in class warfare on the podcast, let us move on from the topic. And that does it for this episode. Alex, thank you for joining us. As always, guys, make sure to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check out the rest of the Chaotically Intolerant family of sports media. I've been writing a few MLB blogs in the last weeks for chaoticallyintolerant.com. Follow me on all social media sites as well at Spring Hill Sports Cards. Thank you and have a great week.
Yeah, go subscribe to the email list, chaoticallyintolerant.com. It's there. One email a week. It's nothing crazy. We don't flood your inbox.
We appreciate it, guys. See you next time.